Hi there everyone, this is Cloudchief, and I wanted to do a quick little Final Fantasy Unplugged video. Like I said before, I want to do some more of these videos. It shouldn't be anywhere near as long as the last one, so let's get into it. Today's topic, I kind of wanted to go over some of the issues that are currently present in Final Fantasy in 2017, especially as we're getting closer and closer to 2018. It's currently October, and I've always been a big fan of this game, and I've enjoyed coming back. A lot of the different experiences that are currently available in it are definitely good. Things are a lot more streamlined, but one thing that seems to be at least a constant issue, at least on Azure, I'm sure on some of the more underpopulated servers it's nowhere near as bad, but just the amount of just shout spam. And this could go on multiple different layers. I can talk about this. One, people seem to shout for whatever it is that they want every 20 seconds, and it's like your yell. I mean, it's not. I'm probably gonna say shout just because I'm used to shout from back in the day when I technically mean yell. But your yell stays in the log. There is absolutely no need to do it every 20 seconds. And I mean, I get it. Someone's probably gonna come in and be like, well, people are constantly coming and going in the zone, so you want to be spamming it so that way new people coming in the zone will see it. That way you're more likely to get it faster. It's like, but I probably do it once every 3 minutes, and I have no problems getting people for, groups that I'm trying to fill. And, that's definitely more than enough. I've definitely seen people where it's like, they'll shout, and then someone else will shout, and then they'll immediately shout, because it's like, oh, I need to make sure that my shout was the last one in the log, so that way people are seeing it. And that's not really necessary, because I know I might AFK, come back, and then I'll scroll through the log, and I'll generally send people tells. Even I'll sometimes send a tell where I'll see it's a little up in the log, and I'll be like, oh, you're looking for a healer, I can heal, is there one still spot available? And they'll either be like, yes it is, or no, sorry, it's filled. And so I just don't get the point of spamming. I mean, I'm guessing it's just more of the whole society instant gratification thing, but I would like to see SE implement something, at least on the more populated servers, where you can only yell once every 2 or 3 minutes, because that would really cut down on the spam, but also cut down on the amount of people just spamming, trying to say that they're selling something. That's moving on kind of the next topic. I don't really see the point in, I can see maybe doing it once every 10, 15 minutes. There's no point for every 30 seconds or even a minute to be like, okay, I'm selling whatever item, and just constantly spamming chat trying to sell it, especially when a lot of these people are either, one, trying to buy things that are easily available in bazaars or the auction house for well under the price, or they're trying to spam to sell it well above price, that for something that's easily obtainable in bazaars or the auction house. I don't really understand why they do it. I mean, I get it. They're trying to force it so it's like I'm either saving money or making more money. But I mean, I can understand trying to push a little more one way or the other in the market, but some of it, there's just no need to spam. All you're really doing is just clogging up the chat log, and you're not really getting anywhere with it. Like I said, I just don't really see the point. And again, I wish that's something that I would like to see SE implement, where it's you can only yell every couple minutes. Now, when I'm saying limit the yell, I think people should be more than, to actually shout, and I actually mean legitimately shout, so that way it'll be seen in whatever town, and just that town, as much as you want. Because if I'm trying to fill an ambuscade group, you should only need to yell once every 3 minutes that's being seen in every town, and then you can shout also every minute in Mara, because if I'm really looking for an ambuscade group and I'm not really seeing shouts, I'm probably going to be going to Mara anyway, because you can sometimes get picked up in groups there. I've seen people do it. I haven't really done it, but putting your flag up in Mara and having a CCOM that basically says, hey, I'm looking for an ambuscade group. I mean, that seems much better than just, spamming out with chat. I just, it doesn't add value to it. Other thing that I see as a potential problem, well, not a potential problem, it is a problem, is just like the whole elitist mentality that people have in Yells. You'll have someone new come on the server and then they'll just, shout a question, and then everyone literally just starts like attacking that person. And it's like, this is supposed to be a community game. I get it. If someone does shout something completely stupid, I can kind of see it. But I see completely legitimate questions being shouted, and then people just literally will try and tear that person into an asshole. And it's like, you're literally tearing down your community. This is already a somewhat dying game. I mean, there's a lot of influx that's coming back to it. I think just because a lot of current gaming doesn't have, I don't know, it doesn't have that magic that somehow 11 had, and so I think a lot of old players are coming back to it. Some people who've never experienced it are kind of like, oh, well, let me check this out. And so I just don't really see the point in, like, you're essentially biting off your own flesh, the way I see it. This is supposed to be a community. Back in the old school days, people were, much more likely to help and go out of their way and, help each other because they saw it as building up the community as a whole. Instead, it just seems like everyone tries to tear it down. Another example of that is, like, the other day I was shouting for was an Estia Sky Siriu group because I wanted to clear Siriu, and I got a tell from someone that was like, hey, you can just clear that with a Summoner, Geo, and Tank. And it was like, well, I had a group the other day that was a Summoner, Beastmaster, Corsair, Geo, White Mage, and then I was on Tank, and we went with it at 10%. Now, granted, one of the DPS shouldn't even have been in that group because when I was shouting, I said I wanted, veteran players. And the guy clearly wasn't. He was just trying to leech a clear. And, I mean, I probably should have done more thorough check and then asked him to leave the group, and if he didn't, at that point, kick him. But, I mean, I was looking for more high-end players because it is more of a harder fight. And it's like, I have no doubt that the setup he shouted, if you had like a Idris Geo, a Nirvana Summoner Master with just like, was it the +1 Summoner Curse gear that you get from Sky, like if you just had ridiculous gear, I'm sure you could treat a 3-man and with Trust the Other Way. But it's like, I, one, want to be able to do it with pickups. 2, have more people be able to get clears, so that way more people are benefiting from it. And, and that way it's also just building up a community. I don't know why it seems like so many people need to try and stick their 2 cents in. Especially because the one thing that I liked about 11 was there was just a wide diversity in terms of, what you can do for job setups. And I think that brings me kind of to my next topic, is just a lot of people will stick with just like one job setup. People really like this whole cookie cutter, oh, let's just magic burst everything, where we'll just have a tank, so only the tank's getting hit, a healer, we'll bring a scholar, just a skill chain, and then a bunch of magic bursters just to magic burst it down. And that is a complete and legit strategy, and it definitely should be utilized. But I don't think it needs to be utilized completely across the board, that's literally the only strategy you know how to do, and you don't adjust it. Another thing is just Summoner Burn. That seems to be like the 2 strategies that the vast majority of the community only know how to do, is Summoner Burn and Magic Burst Burn. Like I said, I don't get it because the one cool thing about 11 was you could find a very unique party with diverse job setup and do extremely well. And that's one of the things that I really liked about the game. It's not meant to be very cookie cutter. It's meant to be, oh, let's try different things out and experiment. Let's push the limits of what we can do with different jobs. That's where I've enjoyed the game the most. And just doing this whole, again, cookie cutter mentality, and I do get it. The vast majority of people want to just get things done. But as I've said before, the thing that I like about this game is it's more about the journey than the destination. It's not just about obtaining that piece of gear. Yeah, it's awesome when you get that piece of gear and your character gets that much better, but you know, you should be enjoying the path along the way. Like I say, when I think back, it's not like, yes, I got my, when I think about getting my relic back in 75 days, getting my Kikoku, I don't think about, oh, I remember when I got it, even though I do remember it. But when I think about it more, I think about all the people that I did Dynamis with, the 30 people that we were, you know, going in and doing 2-3.5 hour runs every week, because that was the cap on when you could enter it. And just thinking about how, you know, some of the different things that we did, like some of the different runs we had going on in Zark, and the different city runs and strategies and how things were pulled and everything. When I think about, you know, my obtaining the weapon and everything, that's what goes back to. It goes back to the journey, the path it took to get there. Not so much, oh, I have the weapon now, okay, ooh, I can do some more damage, ooh. And that's one aspect that is, like I said, that I just think is missed in the current era, and I wish we could get back to that a little bit more. I wish I could figure out a way that would, you know, help get that, because, you know, just posting one video I don't see is going to make a huge difference, but hopefully some of the subscribers will be like, yeah, I can see that, and hopefully, you know, somehow, I don't know, combat this just vast amount of what seems to be elitism, because I don't see it. Like another example, I was in Ambuscade group today, and this is, again, October, the new event just came out, and one guy, you know, I'd never done it before, and one guy was in there just constantly being like, oh, you should do this, oh, you should do that, oh, blah, 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 and just, like, constantly talking in chat, essentially just running his mouth, just being like, oh, well, I know this, and I know that, and then, like, I came on my ninja, and I was like, well, they wanted to kite the Mega Boss when the ads pop, and I was like, okay, well, it makes sense to have the ninja kite it, it would make the most survivability. And he's like, oh, well, you probably won't have hate. Oh, you probably won't have... And he kept saying it. And yet, I had no problems keeping hate. I mean, yes, with the how the whole fight goes, hate is bouncing around while you're in the middle of fighting it, but all I did was make sure I held Voke for after the ads pop, Voked it, made sure I hit it, maybe weapon skill one more time, and then I had locked hate. It wasn't really a problem. And was able to, you know, kite it around, and it's just, I just don't get that whole mentality where it's like, you think you know best, and you're literally already gauging people when you've never even partied with them. It's just kind of sad. And I think people should be more open and flexible. Like I said, this isn't so much more, this isn't 14, and I'm not trying to knock 14, although there's plenty of things I could say against it. But in 14, you have locked, you know, jobs. You have to have a tank, you have to have a healer, and you have to have like 2 DPS for your standard party. And there's just no way getting around it. They lock in that you have to have these roles. And 11 doesn't have that. You can, in theory, go in with absolutely no tank and have everyone sub-ninja and just blink shadow something, if that's a viable strategy. And in some cases that is, and it's done. And I just think people should try and be a little more open and diverse in what can be done, just because there is such a wide variety of things you can do. And even just experimentation, there's just so many different things you can try. And, I mean, that's what I would just like to see. I'd just like to see, you know, people being more open and you know, just be open to more change and understanding that people come from different places. And like, especially when you have, you know, someone new coming in the server, people be like, oh, well, just go, you know, just go solo that with trusts. And it's like, if they're new, they, one, probably don't have the experience. Two, they don't have the equipment to do that. And just the fact, like I said, the Syria tell, it's like, yeah, I'm sure you could do it if you had all three of the people that are going to do it are completely top end, have the absolute best gear possible. But yeah, I'm sure you could trio it. But expecting every single person that needs it to be at that point, that you need to at least understand there's going to be different people at different levels. And that's basically more I'm saying is, you know, have some more patience for your fellow players. Understand not everyone's at the same place you're at, and, you know, it might take a little explaining, it might, you know, take some time. Sometimes the people, you know, who want to join an event shouldn't be joining an event. They should probably be doing some lesser events and, you know, slowly upgrade their character so that way they can get to the point to do those events. You can't just, you know, have a new character come in and expect to be doing top-end endgame. You can't have a character that just hit 99 and expect them to go in Reginima and be able to hold their own. You just can't do it. I mean, there's just a progression level. I could keep going on. I'll probably do another one of these videos, because, again, I didn't let this go on too long. This was actually already going on longer than I was expecting, but I'll do some more videos like that. If you enjoyed this, or even if not, if you know, feel free to leave a comment for your thoughts on these subjects, and also leave some comments on some other Unplugged videos for topics you'd like me to talk about. I'd like to get some more videos out there that are more, you know, positive and upbeat. I think there's some more things I wanted to touch on that were more have like a negative tone to them about the game, and I would like to go back and discuss them more in future videos and talk about some other things. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But yes, please go ahead and leave a comment for any future subjects that you want to talk about, and also anything you wanted to, you know, talk about on this subject. If you, you know, think I'm wrong about something, please, I'd like to get into a discussion about it. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts about it. So yeah, like I said, be doing more of these videos. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for checking out my channel. If you're not subscribed, you know, please subscribe, and may you have success in all you do.